I didn't really know that I am even able to have those screams. I checked out a couple of YouTube videos about how to scream, or those might be good for somebody, but I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I don't
same
know.
for me. I've been practicing like for 2 years now, and
Yeah.
I think that I really need a licensed teacher for that. It's starting to affect the voice if you do it wrong for too long.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I think we had been the five of us for over a year when I kind of found my voice.
Okay.
It was April 2019. So I'm kind of I woke up really late to this kind of stuff because I just really didn't know that I'm able to do it.
Okay.
So it came.
I think that's the case for more than just you. That you just one day you can find it. I've been hearing stories about it, like someone's trying and trying and trying, and then they find the real technique for that, and then it starts to develop.
Yeah. I have to say that I really was working my ass off to get that voice, get those techniques in shape, but it was really
difficult
and really devastating that I just can't do it. And we wrote a few songs for I Am Your God, and our name was I Am Your God before I had this screaming. So it's kind of fun. I'm really happy that we didn't release anything back then. We have been on these days having like drunken nights and listening old demos, and we have been like, oh fuck.
So around what time was that? 2018.
2018, like from that summer to the spring of 2019, we wrote a few songs. The pack was starting to be ready, but it just missed my vocals.
Okay.
We had those. Matti was writing those badass riffs even then, and for example, the song called Betrayal, we had a demo from it with clean vocals, and it sounded pretty shitty.
Is it somewhere safe, or is it already deleted?
Fucking not.
Archived.
It's never gonna be in public.
Okay.
I can promise you.
So, yeah. Was it around 2019 spring, or when you started to include growls or screams?
Yeah. We actually, Betrayal was the song that made me find my voice. I was driving once again from Oulu to Tyrnävä, big city, to my parents' house, and I was banging the demo of Betrayal with those shit ass vocals, and I was trying to scream.
Yeah.
And I heard some good vibes during that, and when the song ended, I just started to scream in fucking nighttime, in really dark road, driving my car, and started to yell without any music. I started to scream, and it just happened like this.
Yeah.
The hard work paid off suddenly, and immediately I sent Matti a message that I know how to scream now.
Okay.
We're gonna have a recording sessions next week, so I can show you. And I just got to my parents' house, and he said, "Well, can you send me a voice message and show how you're gonna do it?" I was like, "No, my dog is sleeping already."
Yeah.
So I can do that. And like 2 days after that, I went to Rovaniemi, and we started to record new vocals for Betrayal, and like Matti looked like I would punch him to a face. He was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah.
I told you that I can scream now. He was like, "Well, I didn't know that you can scream that way now."
Yeah, okay.
and yeah, then it kind of gave us so much energy. We started to write many new songs. I think In Those Times came up really fast after that those happenings, and it kind of started to roll. Our band kind of we got some really big flame.
So I think it was last week or so that Loudwire made an article about the name of the band.
Yeah.
So you can check
That's
that
cool.
out if you're listening. Not sponsored, but it's easier that way. But we can like address it like in short. So what I read, it was Jimmy, your bass player,
Mm-hmm.
who thought about the name in a hammock. while
Yeah,
reading
yeah. That's actually the story is super hilarious, but it like I might have added some some twists and turns into the story. Yeah, but actually that's almost like 100% truth.
Yeah.
The whole story. Yeah, almost, just almost. Yeah, it's really fun, funny thing, and our label guys like that story so much that they send it to Loudwire,
Yeah.
and then the press was like, "Oh, this is
Okay,
fucking
this is cool."
awesome! We're gonna release it
So
as an article." That was really amazing.
he was basically reading a book, a biography of
Mhm.
Andy McCoy,
Yeah,
and then there was a mention of temple balls, which are like some kind of drug.
yeah,
or something.
Nepalese hash, and yeah.
And he saw the name, and it was like, okay, that's the name of my band.
Yeah, of course. He was like 14 years old,
Yeah.
probably 13, 14, something like that. So he didn't exactly know what temple balls were.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, like it says on the article, and we have discussed in the interviews about our name that yeah, we didn't want to change it.
Yeah.
When we were asked if we would like to change the name, we just decided not to change it.
Yeah. I think
because it has, like, I'm not sure if it would have been a good idea, since we already had made a name around Finland at least, and we had been doing music for such a long time. So I think that would have been like disaster to
change
to actually
the name.
change the name, because at least it's memorable. Like every band name
very
should
personal.
be. Yeah.
And I think there's been like speculation. I've heard that it would have something to do with Indiana Jones or something, like temple.
Oh well,
balls.
that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Funny thing, because our members are huge fans of Indiana Jones and all that stuff. So it's kind of funny that people keep on mentioning about it.
And I think that they make the relation with your cover art and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
I think so too. But yeah, we're a fan, big fans of Indiana Jones and all that sort of like historical events and all the like
ancient
architecture
cultures,
and ancient cultures and all that stuff is really fascinating. And also like we have just given the basic idea to the cover to the artist of the cover art, which is, by the way, Jan Yrlund from Dark Grove Design, and it's always like been the first issue where we have had our basic idea of what we want to put on the cover. It's always been the first issue which would end on the album cover. So it's been really great to have such a massive talent to like just he has like a few phrases about the basic idea, and then he just visualizes it perfectly.
At some point you return to Asia in in the form of a show or a couple of shows in Japan.
Showcase, yeah, one show in Japan. That was really nice. We had just released our debut album in Japan as well via Ward Records, and we had some interviews there, and then we visited the label's office and signed some cards and met the guys, label guys, and yeah, that was pretty intensive as well. Well, the couple days we spent there, and
I think
show was a success. That was really super nice. Like we already had built a sort of a big fan base in Japan before the first show. So
and did you know about it?
Yeah, we kind of knew about it, but we didn't know that it was going to be that wild.
I don't know. Was it you who told me, or someone, that you were like surprised when you came down from the hotel rooms and someone was waiting for you in the lobby?
Yeah, they were waiting for us in the lobby, and we actually, I'm not sure how they even knew that we were staying in that hotel. So
some kind of detective work.
Yeah, some kind of Sherlock Holmes.
Didn't you have like a TV show moment also with the legendary Japanese rock journalist?
Yeah, we visited Masa Ito's show, and yeah, that was all like crazy stuff, you know. You just simply cannot imagine that to be true. Like maybe you're in all the fuss that's going on, you're in some sort of bubble, like in the first place, but then like after a few days or a few months you just realize that, wow, that was like awesome as hell. Like too much to handle, almost. Like of course, obviously a dream come true to get to play in Japan. You know, I when I was a kid and saw like Def Leppard was playing some shows in Japan, I was like, yeah, I really want to do what these guys are doing. And then I just suddenly realized that I was on a plane to get to play in Japan. I was like, wow.
Yeah, was the song "Big in Japan" playing in your head while you were on the?
Not at that time, but yeah, maybe later on, realized that,
on the flight home, like jet lagged and tired, and like, okay.
Yeah, that was actually funny thing once again. When we arrived, we had that TV interview at Masa Ito's show, and I think it was Antti, our drummer, who said that. Yeah, I was probably sleeping with my eyes open during the whole interview. He was just glass, looked like glass eyed and all that stuff. Was just like standing and staring, awake. Trying to stay awake. Yeah. We didn't get much sleep the couple nights before that, and of course the flight was pretty long, like 10 hours or so, and I was I simply just cannot watch the interview myself because I feel like I'm kind of dizzy.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So how about first shows with the bands, and your feelings about playing live, and what was the first project? Was the same project the first one that you played live shows with, or?
Yeah, it was with Silent Trinity. We were playing in Kemi in Hullu Pohjola. It was a nice bar back in the day. And I remember the gig all too well. There weren't that many people there, and we didn't play that good. I was so nervous. I can remember I was just shaking so much, and I made some really stupid mistakes. and yeah, I have a few pictures from the gig still, and you can see my eyes, they were filled with horror. So, yeah, it was actually it went so badly that I was thinking that is this my gig,
Yeah. Okay.
so to speak. Am I good enough to do this thing, to be a keyboardist? So that was make it or break it after that.
But
So,
something still after that made you go and perform again.
yeah, I just I wanted to give it a go. I mean, in rehearsals we sounded pretty damn good, and I played well there. So I thought that maybe this was just,
Stage fright.
yeah, stage fright and excitement, and I actually had to throw up before the gig since I was so
So
terrified.
nervous. Okay.
Yeah, but the next show was in Muhos, Sarvipää Sammakko, with that band, and it went really well.
Okay.
And I felt really good about it then. I remember I was so hyped after the gig that it was then that I decided that, yeah.
Okay, this is
Okay.
something that I'm gonna do in the future.
Yeah. Katamania was a really challenging project for me since I knew Riku Hopeakoski way back. We saw each other in Heavy Mesta. We drank some beer and talked about music. And I was a big fan of Katamania. And at one point, Katamania didn't have a keyboardist. And Riku asked me would I be interested in joining the band. But I thought that I didn't have the necessary skills for that, since everything had to be learned by ear. Like
Okay.
there weren't any notations or stuff like that, so I never done that before in my life, or I've done very little of that. So it felt like I wasn't good enough, and actually Riku asked me a few times, and the turning point was when my friend Juha-Matti Perttunen, we played in same band called Dark Round in the highest point of all metal Skeen back in the day. He joined as a singer in the band, and they were thinking about getting a keyboardist. And Juha-Matti said to me that, are you serious that you don't want to take this opportunity? I mean, this is once in a lifetime opportunity. Just come to the auditions and let's see how it goes. I was
Okay.
like, yeah. I had broken up with my girlfriend at the time, so I was like,
I'm
What
open
the hell?
for
Yeah.
something new.
yeah, what the hell? Maybe
Yeah.
I'm just too afraid or not confident enough in my own skills. So I actually started to, rehearsing the songs by ear, and it was another time in my life that I might have played like 8 hours a day.
Okay.
So I worked a lot. I worked my ass off for that and the auditions. And the auditions actually went pretty well. And I wasn't the only keyboardist who
Interested.
auditioned.
Okay.
Yeah, interested in that. So I felt like, nah, I'm not gonna get this job. And I remember one time he then called me and like, yeah, I have some bad news for you. Like, unfortunately, he started like that, and I heard the guys giggling in the back.
Okay.
I was just this. you
Of
fucking-
course,
you
of course.
bastard, you bastard. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay. So what? I was good enough. Yeah. You were good enough. No, the others were better and stuff like that. And that went on for a bit, and they just welcome to the band.
Okay. So kind of a ritual for getting into the band.
Yeah,
But-
basically, yeah. And I would have been fooled, but I heard the guys giggling in the back.
Okay. So, you can thank the good microphone on the phone. that you
Yeah,
picked it up.
yeah, absolutely, and of course the beer that the guys had drunk.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
on top of that,
So how did that thing proceed after that when you became a part of the band?
well, it actually started like pretty strongly after that. The guys gave me songs that I had to learn for the live set, since the guys were going on a tour in Germany at the time.
Okay.
But I couldn't make it to that, since the airplane tickets had already been bought, and then there wasn't a chance that I could join them. But the next opportunity that I got was in Belarus. We were playing in Rechica, so that was my first gig with the band, and it was also my first gig outside of Finland.
Okay.
So it was a huge deal at the time. So
must have felt great and exciting.
yeah, it was crazy, and the culture difference between Finland and Belarus were so, huge. I hadn't done that much traveling in my life. And,
Okay,
so when we actually landed in Kiev in Ukraine, and there were people, there were soldiers with machine guns in there. So I was like, what the hell is this place? This is so damn weird. And we actually traveled with it was a minibus that we traveled to Belarus from Ukraine. And there was a whole hassle in the border there. So shall we say that the local militia gave us a pretty hard time, like,
okay. Why are you here?
Yeah, long-haired guys, just, where are the drugs? Where are the drugs? Like, oh no, please, there are no drugs. Just keep the play gig here. And I was actually sitting on the door part, and the backside of the minivan, and I remember I was just sitting there, shitting myself, like, what the hell is gonna happen? What the hell is gonna happen? One of the militia opened the door, like, slam, and looked at me. It's something Russian. He just yelled at me in Russian. I was like, what the hell is going on? So it was it was a good wake-up call.
Yeah, and I think it's not the easiest part of the world to actually go and play the first gigs abroad.
Yeah.
Or to actually travel that much. I haven't been there, but I've heard stories and seen travel shows enough to know the culture. But it's different.
I mean, the people were really friendly.
Yeah,
the friendliest people I had ever seen. Like, they were so hospitable and welcoming. And I remember we went to get some beers from the local supermarket, and the guards were so, like, they didn't speak English that well, but they tried. And they were cracking jokes and stuff like that. So
I imagine there must have been like cheap alcohol.
Yeah. I remember Bobrov was the drink of choice. It was the cheapest beer money could buy.
Okay.
And I was a student at the time, so I was pretty broke. But, yeah.
So definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How did the actual show go there?
Well, the sound on stage was pretty damn horrible. The actual monitors were so loud that I couldn't hear our drummer playing the snare.
Okay.
So it was really strange that I heard nothing of the drums. So I actually had to turn left to see where we were at in the song, since everything was so loud. And
yeah, that's really unusual, because people who actually have been on the stage while someone is playing drums, you can definitely hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. But the stage was pretty big. And since we were the headlining band, it was the last day of the festival. We were the headliners. I think the audio guy was like, "Oh yeah, let's go big or go home. Let's make it loud." And it was not a good choice.
Yeah, definitely on stage. Maybe towards the audience, yeah, but you don't want to disturb the musicians too much.
Yeah. It was chaotic, but it was fun. I mean, we went to have a good time, and I mean, the gig was okay. Yeah. It was okay. We managed well.
So what year was this?
Don't ask me these questions.
Okay, you don't.
I can't remember.
Approximately 10 years ago, or
yeah, something like that.
Okay,
it was, yeah.
And what was for your first, like, a bigger show outside of kind of those clubs that we have in Finland? We have a little like rock clubs, like Heavy Mesta and etc. So what was the kind of outdoor show, or was it a festival?
I think the biggest, achievements or the biggest, wake up calls that holy shit, we're big.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not sure which one is it. Was it the Numerok or the Q stock? I'm not.
It was the same year.
It was the same year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't decide which one was like bigger. I think I'm a big fan of Numerok. I've been going there for years, so it was an absolute honor to play on that stage.
That was actually the place that we got to know each other at Numerok gig, and I've heard a couple of your songs, but because there was this thing in the bar that you buy a beer, but you pay an extra euro, and then you bring back your can, you can get the euro back, and it doesn't matter how many cans you have, you always get the euro back.
Yeah.
So
talk about recycling.
Yeah, your show was so successful that people were in a circle pit almost the whole show, and they were just drinking beer and then tossing the cans.
Yeah.
And I was the guy who picked up the cans and went to the register and just cashed up. And,
the richest man in Numero.
Yeah. And I think it was like 30 or 35 euros that I got from that, and I drank the whole night with that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get a small part of this money?
I don't know.
I think you owe us.
Like a provision.
Yeah.
I think it was the day after that our mutual friend introduced us or something, and then we just hang out for the rest of the festival, and and also and then later with Q-Stock, at least we saw each other at some point, but I was there with Morsupita that year.
Yeah.
But those are like fun anecdotes, like your first show, and I was cashing up with like beer cans in the background.
Yeah.
And didn't really like pay attention that much, and it was the trip back when I started to actually listening to the album, like, yeah, this was pretty nice guys, I'm gonna see what the band is like, and I was like, oh, holy crap, this is good.
Yeah.
I really like it.
We surprised everyone.
Yeah.
It's really rewarding, and but I would say that the main factor why I'm still making this kind of or anyways making music is that when I'm working on a new song, that's the best thing I know in the world, what to do. Like, it feels so great to create new stuff and get your bandmates like contribution on that song as well, and how it takes its form gradually. It feels so damn great. So I would say that creating the music itself is the like biggest reason why I'm still doing this.
Okay, so it's the creative process for you. Is it kind of therapeutic in a way for you, like because it's not your everyday job to do it, but is it like when you're doing it, you kind of feel like you are kind of relaxing a bit and getting your kind of if you have angst or any kind of other negative feeling, you can put it into music, or just like even the positive feelings. Is it like a way of therapy for you?
I would say that it definitely is, and music is it has like really healing kind of what is it?
Like a property, healing kind of property.
Yeah, definitely. And when I'm working on new music, and when it starts to form, it feels like I'm getting disconnected from this like the other world that is like around me. So it's kind of escapism as well.
Okay, interesting. So let's go towards the current situation, and I actually don't know this, so I'm gonna ask: is Alas your only current project at the moment? Or
Yeah, definitely, because on my like responsibility area are so many things are on me, like I'm the main composer in Alase, and also I'm kind of the producer. So because we are working remotely mostly when we are making new songs, I'm the one who gathers all of the different instruments that guys send to me, and I'm usually demoing like almost everything, and sometimes the other guitar player Mikko also is demoing some guitar parts, but usually I'm the one who makes like mostly the music stuff. But lately, my girlfriend Anni, who writes all of our lyrics always,
Yeah.
I can't come up with lyrics like that, so it's like super important that she's with us, and she has been also helping so much recently with all of the social media stuff, and
Yeah.
like promoting the band and this kind of stuff, like managerial stuff.
Okay. So you're getting help quite near in a way. So
Yes.
it's even though your bandmates are far away in a way, but you have still have some help in the same household.
Yeah, definitely, and also because she's writing the lyrics, and
Yeah.
when I'm working on a new song, and when I do the like initial arrangements on the vocals, I will usually like play. How would I say? Right after when I like come up with something, I usually play it like to her, and she will
Okay.
usually give her feedback, and sometimes together we will maybe tweak the lyrics as well if it doesn't work that well for the arrangement, for example.
So good cooperation between you two
Yeah.
in kind of both composing and writing the songs to before the final product, so
Yeah,
to speak.
definitely.
And we only played Enter Salmon and For Whom the Bell Tolls over and over again.
Mm.
And it must have sounded awful. And the people that heard us rehearse, I mean, I am so sorry if we killed your musical interest.
Yeah.
Because I guess it sounded awful, but we had a lot of fun, at
Yeah.
least.
Wasn't those two songs the first song that you mentioned that you played live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like in this community park in my old hometown. And this music community, there's always every summer they set up this free show where they got bands from the music community to come and play, to sort of get the live experience. And that was our first show we had with that band. And we played Enter Salmon and For Whom the Bell Tolls. And I remember I was so cocky before, like, oh, it's gonna be so fucking awesome and headbang, yeah. And then before going up on stage, or literally the whole day before, I was literally terrified. Like, what have I gotten myself into? I was so nervous. When I walked up on stage, it was like tunnel vision and shaking and cold sweat. I was so nervous. It was horrible, but I did it.
Yeah. For me, the only song that I have played with an instrument, as far as I can remember, was Paranoid in this high school seniors show. It had different lyrics, but it was because it was so used that none of the actual guitarists wanted to play it, and I had just played some guitar, and I can play it without the solo, and it went okay, but I remember that the first time was really like I feared for my life or something.
Yeah. It's when you look back now at moments like that, it really feels like a bit embarrassing that, oh my God, why was I so nervous? But back then it was literally a matter of life and death up to some point. Pretty soon, I think like 6 months after that first show, we got Spine Farm contacted us from their Helsinki office and asked if we were interested in putting up a record together with them. And of course we were. So it took some time of our manager at the time sort of wheeling and dealing back and forth. And then the summer after, in 2010, we signed this deal with Spinefarm at this Swedish festival in Gävle. I can't remember the name of the festival. Never mind. It was this festival that was in this town. And my sister's boyfriend, he had a friend that had a big ass yacht.
Yeah.
And he sort of like, yeah, we are coming to the festival, because they always went to festivals. And we're going to go there with this big ass boat. And yeah, you can sign your contract on that. That would be so fucking cool.
Of course.
And we were like, yeah, cool. Set everything up. 2 A&Rs from Spinefarm came with the contract. And as always after a show, we played our show, and then of course you have a few beers and then some more, and then we headed off to the boat for this magic signing that we thought that, yeah, in 1 hour we're gonna have a big ass party drinking champagne and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it just dragged out on time because they wanted to go through every single point of this contract, making sure that we understood everything. So during this, we said, I can have one more beer. I can have one more beer. And later on, I think someone said, okay, if we're going to be able to sign this, we need to sign it now, because in 5 minutes, we're not going to be able to, because too much beer. So we simply just dropped all the conversations, signed it, and then there was this party, and rigged up with, on the flight deck of this boat, we had a small drum kit and amplifier, so we started to sort of jam. Once again, Metallica songs, I guess, and in this in the harbor of this city, and making a lot of havoc and noise, and having a good party.
So these were Finnish record company people coming to Sweden to a boat.
Yeah,
it's like the perfect stereotype of Petre folk.
Yeah, it's like
we have here in Finland.
Yeah, it was like this awesome start of a really bad idea. But it was a cool idea, but I think we would have executed it a bit different today, perhaps.
Fucking Swedish people with their yachts and
Finnish people come and you guys think you can drink. And but we had a lot of fun. It was good.
And also the fact that they really had you go through every page, that's also a really Finnish feature, I would think.
Yeah, but it is also very good because it's important for the record label to understand that the artist actually knows what they're signing.
Of course,
it's also very important for the artist
to know what they are signing into.
Yeah, because I've seen some contracts outside of Amaranth sphere, so to speak, that is just who would ever sign this kind of things.
Yeah,
like some contract. Side note: some contract I read was like, where is this sort of valid? And it's simply stated in the now known universe. All right, in the now known universe. But maybe tomorrow they discover a different star. Would that make what is that? And it was like worldwide and beyond. And just why even put that in a contract?
Yeah.
I didn't start playing. I started singing because there was a bunch of friends going to studio back when I was 14 years old, and they told me, we're going to a studio to jam, and we're jamming like this song and this song and this song. Do you want to come and sing? And I was, I never ever thought of singing. I didn't even know how a microphone looks like.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, it's gonna be cool. Why not? So I went to the studio for the first time. I still remember that day, and I remember that I want to do this. This is cool. I like it. I'm with friends playing music. Yeah, we sound awful, but there's some magic
happening in the background of it all.
Yes, yes, in between people. So I remember we were not a band. That was not a band. But I remember by that time I was searching for people my age who could play an instrument. Started gathering people to, hey, you play the guitar. Okay, you want to go to the studio Saturday? Okay, let's find a drummer. You play the drums. Okay, wanna go to the studio? What are we gonna play? I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. So that was like my favorite thing when I was a teenager. You know, gathering people, and at some point, those people became like very steady. So somehow, at some point, I started playing the guitar into the studio as well. Of course, my voice was awful all the time, but I insisted on singing because I liked it. We were playing covers. At some point, we tried, playing our own stuff. But this is really, really early things. I mean, it's really immature, but still, it is a period that people without experience need to gain experience.
Yeah.
To see what's wrong, because what I always asked in those jams, I always asked the studio to record it on tape. So I got it every time in a cassette tape, and I listened to it, to see what's going on.
Now let's talk about the first shows with From the Void with you, because I think that Ravage Machinery and From the Void are quite different kind of music.
Yes.
So what was it like to play that kind of more like it's like black metal, but also like atmospheric and melancholic in a way, I would describe that. And it's not as fast as Ravage Machinery. So what was it like to play that kind of music?
Well, I don't think that it was like too. Of course, it is a different kind of music in different genre, but like I don't see that there was like too much difference there. Well, I or at least like music wise, of course, it's more mid tempo than fast. But I think the single most biggest difference is about the performance, since as it is black metal with the corpse paint, and we had the designed outfits for the live shows, and in Ravage Machinery we just wear what we want, so it's not like coordinated thing. So I think that was probably the biggest difference there.
So with Iku-Turso, do you also have the same kind of you dress to the theme in a way?
Yeah, well, in Iku-Turso is kind of like somewhere in between from the Void and Ravage Machinery, because we have the corpse paints, but we don't have like that strict outfits for the live performances. So it can vary there more than in From the Void.
Yeah, and then again in Suotana you have a different kind of outfit then. And
yeah, it's specially like designed, and like we have, well, of course we can, like if we want we can tune it up ourselves more or less, but it's like the main thing there is the same with everyone, but like we can add some details there if we want.
Yeah, so that seems to be a big part of the whole of each project, to kind of does it feel mentally always different when you dress up in a certain way for a certain show? So do you have like a mentality to it in a way?
Yeah, and I don't think it's just like with the dressing up. I think it's, for me it's like when I go to the stage, I will try to have a different kind of mentality to there, because when I'm at the stage I'm performing there, and I'm not like my civil me, in so to speak. Like I have the duty of the bass or the vocals there, and I'm performing their music, and I'm performing to people, entertaining them. So of course it's like in that way a different mentality there. And the 45 minutes or 1 hour or whatever is the duration of the show, I'll try to keep in that state of mind, and afterwards I just come back to being myself again.
Yeah, and it's related to each project, and
yeah, well, sure, there are like different things. Like for example, in the black metal bands, there are no like middle speeches between the songs, and you're like more how would I say, like you're not that active like with the audience in those. I'm not sure if reserved is like the correct word, but something like that. But like with the Suotana and Rage Machinery, you can like make contact, direct
it's
contact.
more interactive.
Yeah, precisely, interactive. Yeah, that's the word.
So when did you join your first like a real band that lasted for a little bit longer time?
Well, I don't even know. I think it's when I joined like Morsupita back in, it was in the end of 2013 or the start of 2014. I would say that was the real like the first real band that I joined, because before that we had a lot of bands and they were not even that like bad in the end. I still sometimes go on MySpace and look up some of the songs, and they were actually real good. Maybe not played and produced as well as they should be, but still good songs. And but there's always so much more in a band than just the music. It's more about the dynamics and doing everything around it. So I would say Morsupita was the first real experience.
Yeah. Okay, so how did it feel like joining the band? Was it like, did it feel intense in a way, because the band has been going on for quite some time, and even before that?
Yeah, they used to they started playing when I was still at the sandbox outside eating shit.
Yeah.
Basically. But but it was pretty intense. I mean there was, first of all, I really liked the band before I joined the guys. I used to listen to them a lot. They had released their first album, The Human Waste Compression, in 2011. It was one of my favorite albums back then. And then it was like really like, how would I say? Well, again, little bit even stressful to try to join the band. But yeah, it was really intense, and they had these tryouts basically. And there was a friend of mine who applied as well. He's a really good vocalist, lives in Oulu as well, and he applied as well. And I was like, damn, I'm not that good.
Yeah.
I'm not as good as he is, and I there's no fucking way. But then we just went to I did 2 demos for them, and they actually ended up on the next album we did, with the second album we did with the band. And then they asked me to go to their rehearsals, and I said yes, of course, sure. And I was really fucking like nervous.
Yeah, of course.
Super excited and nervous at the same time, and it was like I was almost shitting my pants. But then when we got there, and the guys were super cool, and it was really easy to like perform with them, or just do the songs. We did a couple songs, and then we trained some more, and then the guys were like, hey, we have this gig coming up in Kemi. And then I was like, oh shit, do you want to come and let's try it out if you can do the gig?
Yeah.
And then I said, yeah, sure. And it just went for it, and then after that they were just like, hey, you're in the band, let's go.
Okay.
It was great.
A pat on the back, like.
Yeah. But it was a long process. As well, I don't know, we have this habit of not doing anything too fast, and it was the same back then with the guys. So it took some time, was really nerve-wracking, but I'm happy it turned out as it did.
So at some point, I just can't remember the year, but you joined Turmionkätilöt. So was it first like as a session singer, or how did it go?
Well, I remember the day I it was a good one. There is this cruise called Radio Rock Cruise, and we were partying there quite a lot. And then the Sunday came, and we were coming back home, and I just woke up in my cabin. And you know, when you go to another country on the boat, you don't have any kind of line in your cell phone. So when you come back to the Finland, it goes on bling, and there's like a million messages coming up. And I was like scrolling what has been happened right now, and then I got a straight text message from Petja Turunen, another singer from the Turumenka, that hey, we need a new singer, and you're the best one I can think of. Would you like to join us? And I was like, I was completely stunned, because we haven't. Of course, I knew Petja from before, and we were friends even before that, but I had like no idea that. That's not even. we haven't talked anything before that they would like to have me in singing there. I haven't done any kind of like a session singing parts for anything for them before.
Okay.
So it was like a quite overwhelming situation right now. But yeah, well, of course I said yes. And in the beginning we did like half of a tour in a way that we just like checked that. Is it okay for us? Is it okay for me? Do I like it? Do they like it? And how it works out. But for me, it was like when we were talking about that, that will and how I want to improve myself as a musician and become better, and like about my career as a musician, I said quite fast that quite early to them that I want to be like a band member in this, and not a session musician in the long run. And I want to do lyrics. I want to do everything what's involved in the band stuff. And they were more like happy for it, because let's say we in Turmikatalo, it's quite a big company as well. And there's lots of work to be done all the time, even though we are not touring or doing anything.
Yeah, with all the web shops and everything like that.
Yeah, and planning the tours, and before we joined the Nuclear Blast, we had our own label, so we did basically everything by ourselves.
So of course it felt quite intense, I would imagine, too. At least I would have been like shitting my pants at that point from excitement. But
well, I can tell you that I was shitting my pants of excitement, so no questions there.
Let's talk about Apath. So how did you join that band? Was it originally as a session player, or do I remember correctly?
Yeah, so the first time that I ever heard from the band as they reached out to me was when we were touring in Europe with Whispered during fall of 2017, and they asked me to play some shows and possibly an album as well. And somehow it didn't happen back then, but it was 2018. The previous Avat bassist King of Hell, also familiar from the band Gorgoroth, he reached out to me again and asked if I could play the shows that the band had booked for 2018. So I approved to do it, of course, and we played all the shows that had been booked since April to September, I think, of 2018. These were all the shows that we played during that year. And journey continued on, and I think it was December of 2018, we hit the studio in Kristiansand of Norway. to start recording the second Abath album. That was the first album for me with the band Outstrider.
Yeah.
That was released in 2019. So yeah, we released the album in 2019, and at least then it was obvious for me, for the band, that it was obvious that I was then part of the official lineup. That I was not just I don't think I was ever labeled as a session guy. Because I was just playing drums. But also the drummers before me, everybody was sort of using the same stage character in a way. All drummers in the band before me were just called the same creature.
Okay.
Everybody was using the same mask, which was made out of, I think it was, somebody told me it was made out of wood, and it was pretty heavy mask. And I think the identities of the drummers, they were known, but on the public side, it was just creature who was always playing.
Yeah.
Like in the Ghost, there is just
yeah. So you kind of became the character at first, or have
actually
you?
I never used the creature mask.
Okay.
And it was also approved from the band that I could make it public.
Yeah. Okay.
But at first I didn't know if I could join the band as myself, or if I had to. I was expecting that I would use the mask, but then things just rolled the way, and it was. I was very happy to join the band, even as a session guy with my own sort of name and own face.
Yeah. And you did you come up with the paint yourself, or was it something that was suggested to you, or was it your own kind of creativity going on there that you use nowadays while playing and while getting laundry on the streets of New York and everything like that?
Yeah, well, the last couple of tours I came up with my own mask, I guess. But originally it was just something that we tried to make it fit into the aesthetics approved in the band. And I remember some of the first shows, even King of Hell, he would help me with the mask, and we would come up with some new ideas and stuff like that. But you know, there have been different things along the way that, for example, during the first year, at some point, Abbath came up with an idea that my hands would be painted black. And actually, I think this is probably some of my or like a similar shirt I've been wearing live. Nice material, and first year I was actually required to play in this kind of shirt.
Yeah.
And so the arm was painted black, and also my hair was colored with a black powder. And yeah, with the release of Outstrider, I came up with some new ideas for my stage outfit, I guess. I've been doodling around with different kind of ideas. For example, like the last couple of tours, I had my hair all white. So I had white face and also the black stuff there as well, but also white hair.
I'm not that good of a musician. I'm not that like gifted talent that Casper has a really good like musical ear. He always had, but I think I had to start from the ground up.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing okay, but back then I really like sucked.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna comment on that part of you, but what I have to say is that you're an amazing performer, because I think that the first time I saw you guys live was in the good old W.E.B in Oulu.
Yeah,
and,
I remember that.
There wasn't a lot of people there, and at that point you had like 2 singles out, and there were 3 bands from the southern part of Finland, and you were one of them, and all were good, but like the performing that you were like spinning on the floor and coming to every person in the room to kind of scream to their face and everything like that. But I guess that you wouldn't be able to do that if you had the bass. It would restrict your movement. And
absolutely.
Is that something that comes naturally to you, or is it something that you kind of have thought that, okay, I should do this? Or is it something that happens in the moment? Okay, I'm gonna spin in the floor right now and scream from here up.
A bit of both, I'd say. When we started the band, we really looked up like bands like Enter Shikari. They're always crazy on stage, and we were like talking what kind of band we want to be, and we want to be crazy on the stage. There can't be any like limits what we can do there. And of course it was harder with the bass, but that was like one of the key things that we talked about, that it would make so much more that I could actually run with the microphone and go crazy. But yeah, it's a bit of both. It's like somewhat like planned that we go crazy, but it's very rare that the things that happen that are like in any way like choreographed or something, anything like that, because you can't make that shit up.
Yeah. Thinking about the new publication that has already come out, but when this interview comes out, but at the moment it's still a secret. But you have done a song with Lena Scissorhands from Infected Rain.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Well, we were, I think it was last October, November. We have this once in a year like intensive week where we go to live in our drummer's place for a week and try to get as much of the shit done. And and this time we tried to finish our like album, which is now, thank God, finished. It's gonna come out in the fall. And we had the song "Busy Doing Nothing," and it already had the demo and the version we played live. It already had in the chorus that Casper was singing the "Busy Doing Nothing" part, and I guess we felt a bit that it wasn't enough. I mean, it was okay, but then I think Willa got the idea that it would work as a duet, that we could get some like featuring artists, which is pretty common nowadays, especially in the Corona time. So we started to think about who could it be, and Lena was for like our first like throw it in the air names, and we were like, wow, she's like famous and big, and their band is big, and she has this millions of followers. She's never gonna do it. But luckily, our like American friend Douglas, who mixes our live shows, he has like rooted this American mentality into us, that if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah.
So we've thrown some stupid questions to a lot of people and never got an answer, but hey,
it doesn't cost a thing. So we figured out let's just hit her up and send her a message. And she actually replied pretty fast that send her the song and the lyrics, and she's gonna listen in and see if she like feels the song and relates to the lyrics. And and she approved, and she was actually in the studio recording their new album. So it was a perfect timing for her. And and it became like much better than we hoped for.
I just listened to the song. You sent it to me yesterday, but I just like 15 minutes before we started, it's amazing. I think it's great.
Thank you.
And you kind of hear the mixture of Awake Again, and then of course Lena's vocals that are very versatile. And your vocals are very versatile, and at some points that they just really merge there, and you kind of go with the flow, so to speak. But it's a great song.
But that's a big part for Jacob Hansen, who mixes our songs in Denmark, that he usually when I have some doubts on our songs, like when we first we did Below right after it was released, right after Walking, and I always felt like the chorus on that song, it changes so much that people are not buying it because they sound so different, and it starts this like Ruotsin laiva humppa in Finnish. The chorus. But after Jacob mixed that song, I was like, oh, now I get it. Now it works. It works perfectly. And I think it was a bit same with Lena's vocals, that it really clicked after Jacob's mix. So like you said, they blend really well together.
And that's an important part of the whole process, the mixing and mastering. And you kind of sometimes when I talk to Julius from I Am Your God, he also said that when they remixed their songs with a professional, they just came to another level. So really, I have to give a shout out to all of those people who are doing that kind of work, because it's so important in this scene.
Absolutely. And people's attention span is like 2 seconds nowadays. So when you listen to the music on Spotify, if like the first hit of the kick drum or snare or guitar doesn't sound like all the big bands, or close to that, you're gonna skip the song. If it sounds like a demo, nobody's gonna listen to that. So it's very like raw competition there. So that's the one thing that if you like younger bands think in what part of the stuff they should invest. They should really invest in like really good mixing engineer or mastering engineer.
Actually, I have a good story about this. When I moved to Kemi when I was 15 years old, 15, 16, I can't recall, and I lived in a apartment complex, and most singers or screamers can rehearse their vocals at home, but my technique revolves around like shouting hard, so I can't really do that when I'm at home. So I recall walking. I had to go somewhere else to scream. I had a place at my friend's house who lived in Kemi, in which I could go to, but they were not home. So I went to the harbor in Kemi, and next to the harbor in Kemi, there is this green, grassy patch of like field. I went in, and I started just screaming. I put my headphones on, started screaming the Slipknot or something like harsh. I just started screaming, and I think I screamed for like 20 minutes there. And all of a sudden, what I see is a police car driving. It's a harbor, and they drive right next to me. And then they open the window, and I walked there. I was curious what was going on. And they told me that they got a call from a nearby house that was near the harbor, that there was this young kid who was screaming nonsense and cursing and walking around the pier, and he's probably gonna kill himself. So they were talking about me then, and I just like looked at the police officer like, fucking loud. Like, no, I'm doing this. I'm rehearsing extreme vocals, and they wanted to take me home since they didn't know if I was safe or not. And it was like a bit rainy around that time, so I just figured like, okay, take me home. That's okay. So I sat in the the back part of the police car, in which they put like drunkards and shit in. So they put me there, locked the door, and I was just sitting there as they drove me back to where I was living in the apartment complex.
So you took the short taxi, like it's said in Finland, because miekka taxi.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And it was free as well.
Yeah. And for my foreign listeners, the sword taxi comes from the like the logo, so to speak, or what's the better name? Let's say logo
emblem.
For the emblem, yeah, for the Finnish police, which is a lion that has a sword, and it's called when you take a sword taxi, you usually go to the police station to sober up after drinking.
The drunk tank, that is.
Yeah, drunk tank. So that was a different short taxi story then. Well, so have you then had a break after that? Have you had a time when you have not felt that enthusiastic about music and you just had a few months, a few weeks, even a few years break from all of that? Or has it been continuous since you started?
Yeah, well, now we get to the good stuff. Yeah, it was, we made 2 demos with the old Red Eye band and 1 music video. And after that, I have a tiny minor mental breakdown that, cleared all my thoughts about making music. And it takes almost a year before I get the urge to make music again. And after that, I've been, doing more and more, as much as I can do. And people many times laugh at me because I have so many projects that I'm in. Best was a few years ago. I was in 13 different bands. So
okay,
I do lots of stuff.
Yeah. So are they all equally active, or is if we talk about How They As You, is that your main project, or are they kind of equal in your mind, those projects?
Well, this time How They As You is the main focus because it takes the most time and it's the best. I have this black metal band called Uhriristi, which it made few albums and it was released by this French label. But we have some member problems with it, and How They As You guitarist plays there.
Yeah.
New How They As You stuff has lots of black metal elements in it, so basically Uhriristi has somewhat transformed to How They As You.
Okay.
Other stuff that I have this solo project that I have decided I will make when I have time and I want. And I have this stress relief band that I make music like one sitting. So if I have free Saturday, I make some good coffee, start up the computer and start making music, and I won't stop until I have released the song.
Okay.
That project is called Sipilän Sakset.
Okay.
And it has songs from metal, punk, Eurodance, and even rap.
Okay. So it's kind of just a relaxing situation for you.
I'm really creative guy, so I just, if How They As You is in a good position that we don't have to do anything for it, I must, do something with my hands, with my mind. So it's a good way to, relieve stress, make some music. It's not good, but it's music.
Yeah, I have also done that. I had since 2017, I've had I've done like EDM music or electronic music, and I was a bit depressed, and I named the project Raging Dispresso, and the logo is like a very angry cup of espresso, and you can find it on YouTube if you want to find it, but it's not that good. It's like 15 minutes per song, and then just render it and put it on YouTube, and it was my way of relaxing and keeping my mind off things, and I would imagine that your project is the same for you, and I think that those are very cool because you never know what you can get out of that, and some people might even like that better than your other projects, and it's good to have it out there because people. What I have found out is that people like weird stuff. They like very weird stuff at times. So if you're artistic, you might as well do, and if you're creative, you might as well put your creativity to use and never let it kind of be still. And I've noticed on Facebook, because we have friends on Facebook, that you said that you're not currently writing lyrics for Hautajaisvyö, but you are offering like that if someone needs lyrics, I have an inspiration right now, so you can give me a subject and I can write the lyrics. So is it something that making music is not just making the music, but it's also about lyrics for you?
Yeah. In Hautajaisvyö, I don't make music. I am the one who makes the lyrics, and I am the I'm saying if the songs are good that the guys make. So I think of myself of being more of a writer than a musician, because I really like to write, and I write lots of lyrics, like two or three a day.
Yeah.
So I laughed at the guys. I was sick a year ago, really badly. I laughed at the guys. If you found me dead, just take my phone and you have lyrics for 3 albums there. So use them. It's good.
Yeah.
It was fun project that what we you talk about this Facebook stuff. I have written to 5 different bands, really different styles and really different type of lyrics. It also started a new project that I'm not yet ready to talk about more, but it's going to be something different and something epic, I would say. But let's hope that we can make it a real thing this year.
Okay.
We have now 6 songs ready for it, ready to record. So it's going to be a fun little project next to this Hautajaisvyö stuff.
Yeah.